Just want a second opinion. We're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Atlas Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
Hey, welcome in. Getting ready to kick off a Thursday edition of the show. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much. Music playing. We are off and running. Well, the Democrat who got up and waved his cane at Donald Trump during his joint address to Congress the other night has been censured, and Democrats did not take it well. Hamas is on notice from the 47th President of the United States that it will be eradicated if it doesn't return living hostages and the bodies of dead hostages that Hamas has been gruesomely keeping. And we will cover yet another extensive study that proves that the whole transgender lunacy and mindset that is out there is not supported by science. But we begin this Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show with lawmakers' reaction to Donald Trump apparently going off the cuff in his speech the other night to take aim at the CHIPS Act, which was touted as the transformative government input that would allow two gigantic semiconductor factories to sprout on the east side of Columbus, in Licking County and in Orange Township. Trump said the other night, we give hundreds of billions of dollars and it doesn't mean a thing. You should get rid of the CHIPS Act and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker. You should use it to reduce debt. The Republicans in the Senate were caught off guard by this. John Thune, who is the Senate Majority Leader, succeeding Mitch McConnell, said it's the first he's heard of Donald Trump not being a big fan of the CHIPS Act. John Cornyn of Texas also similarly questioning the president. And of course, Ohio Senator, newly minted Senator John Husted, says in a prepared statement that the CHIPS Act is a good thing and that he would hate to see it go away. Now, we have not heard from John Husted since he became a U.S. Senator. John Husted ascended to J.D. Vance's seat in the U.S. Senate when J.D. Vance was elected with Donald Trump on November the 5th. Trump becomes the 47th president. Vance becomes, I can't think of a younger vice president than J.D. Vance. Maybe he's the youngest vice president in history. I did notice that after Trump's speech on Tuesday night, John Husted's X account released a video of Senator Husted giving his supportive comments about Donald Trump's speech. Now, I've met John Husted once. He seems like a nice guy. I have always said on this show, in the 4+ years that I've had this show, that John Husted, and only John Husted, deserves the credit for preserving high school sports in the state of Ohio in the fall of 2020. Mike DeWine was going to cancel it. Mike DeWine and Amy Acton were going to cancel it. Remember when the Big Ten canceled football in the fall of 2020 before the hue and cry arose and they played a half-baked season? John Husted, a former high school athlete himself, stood up for the necessity to play high school sports because I know I've done at least one story on this show of a young man, I believe he's from New Mexico, who had his high school sports taken away from him. Of course he did, Democratic state, New Mexico. And he committed suicide because young people need outlets. They need to be able to interact with their friends. And the decision to preserve high school sports in the state of Ohio was something that I know personally, because I have people on the inside telling me during the time that John Husted was pounding the table to preserve high school sports in the state of Ohio. I'll always be indebted to him for that. John, though, I offer my sincere and heartfelt advice because I want to see you stay a U.S. Senator. I presume you're going to run for re-election. I don't want a Democrat to have that spot. So I want you to become not just a fully elected, full-term senator, but I would like to see you hold on to that spot for a long, long time, and I would like to see you become an effective leader in the Senate and advocate for the people of the state of Ohio. I think you have that capacity. I know that you probably thought you were on track to be governor, but you're going to be running for, it's not really re-election, it's election, but to preserve your spot that you inherited from J.D. Vance's ascension. That'll happen in 2026. So here's my advice to John Husted. When you interact with the people of the state of Ohio, do it from your heart. Do it from your heart. I'm going to presume that you did not rise to the position you now hold because you're incapable of talking to people one-on-one from your heart. I don't care if on your video you stutter a little, this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. It comes off as more authentic. The video statement that John Husted released the other night was, I'll say wooden, okay? It was wooden. It was, I could tell John was reading it. I don't know if John wrote it. It was not the best representation of what I would hope would be his ability to interact with the people of the state of Ohio. Look into the camera and just, if you're there at the speech and Democrats can't stand up for a young boy with brain cancer, if they can't stand up for a slain police officer's widow, if they can't stand up for Laken Riley's family, if they can't stand up for a kid finding out that he's going to West Point, if they can't applaud for President Trump closing the border, I would think that would stick in your gut and you could just say, I thought the Democratic display of whatever it was, stupidity, was reprehensible. I'll support President Trump's agenda. I was caught off guard by what he said about the CHIPS Act, but I want to think through what he had to say. I want to interact with the White House. I want to find out. You have to be able to do that off the cuff. People, here's the thing you got to remember, okay? No matter what you're doing, if you are in any kind of a public position, I'm in one here. I'm in a public position here. Like a lot of people, when they hear my name, oh, you're a guy on the radio. Oh, I love your show. I hate your show, whatever. You have to be able to relate to people on a personal level. Like you guys know, I'm all in on my Christian faith. It's the prism through which I view life. You probably know that I'm deeply in love with still my bride of almost 25 years. You probably know how many children I have and what they're involved in and all that. I'm hoping that I'm relatable to you, okay? John Husted has to be relatable to the people of the state of Ohio if he wants to hold on to his Senate seat. I don't want to see Sherrod Brown get that Senate seat. I don't want to see Tim Ryan get that Senate seat. So, John, you've got to just, whoever's telling you in your PR office, whoever's telling you, here, read this, I'll hold it off camera and no, don't do that. Bad advice. Bad advice. Be real. Be authentic. Oh, I might stumble over my words. So what? Everyone does. Speak from your heart. Show some passion. Don't be flatline. All right. So what does Husted have to say? This is, and here we go. John Husted, we all know, was in on the CHIPS Act, right? I mean, I know who really brought Intel to Ohio. And it wasn't Mike DeWine, and it wasn't John Husted, and it sure wasn't Sherrod Brown. It was the people at One Columbus. And I know the people who actually did it at One Columbus. I won't name their names because I don't have permission to do so, but it was One Columbus. That's what One Columbus does. They recruit businesses to Central Ohio. Jobs Ohio had less than One Columbus had to do with getting Intel here. So John Husted, all right, you had a day to digest the whole Trump thing on the CHIPS Act. And Husted releases a statement. No. Go on camera, talk from your heart, be authentic, be relatable. Here's what the statement said. I am confident, this is John Husted's statement on Trump saying, claw back that Intel money. I am confident bipartisan support remains. For the economic and national security of America, we need to make chips in the USA. I believe this is a part of the America First agenda. Making chips in places like Ohio will make sure that China doesn't win. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, except it's a statement. sit on the edge of your desk, loosen your tie a little bit, maybe, lean down on your knee, look right into the camera and say, I felt like the federal government under Joe Biden, take a shot at Biden, withheld the CHIPS Act money too long. We'll never know what kind of an impact that would have had on Intel. We know their stock price tanked. I think Joe Biden, he had only one bipartisan effort. He got 17 Republican senators to vote for it, 40 some in the House to vote for it. It was bipartisan. We need more bipartisanship in the U.S. We saw tonight the Democrats can't be bipartisan on anything. I don't want to see us rescind a bipartisan piece of legislation that I think is transformative for jobs in the state. I mean, whatever. Like, be real. What? I said this. Look, I'm an equal opportunity, I guess, critic on this particular topic. Authentic. Being authentic. Do you remember my assessment of Trump in the debate against Kamala Harris? It was that he had like too many canned answers and he didn't really feel it in his heart and he wasn't passionate with his rebuttals to her. This drives me crazy in people who are in public office. You got to be more exceptional. You got to be more relatable.
To give way to some sun this afternoon, windy and cold, high today 39. Cloudy skies tonight with low at 29. Mostly cloudy, could bump into a shower for the afternoon and evening tomorrow.
Puppet master.
Well, the questions have been focused on the behavior.
People, that's people are afraid to hear from them, to improve going up.
Answer.
Donald Trump.
Questions, some of which are focused on his own party and the antics that we saw on full display on Tuesday night. He was asked how he plans to control his conference, and now he's taking another question. Here's his answer.
Going to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends with that nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocate has established a relief hotline for you call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
Somebody took my Larry Elder read. Let's test myself to see if I'm authentic, if I can recite this kind of stuff from my memory. Golly, politicians who traffic in this stuff, they just like, you gotta be more relatable. Because you know what? People who are relatable are trustworthy.
To create a beautiful sterling silver cross. My crosses, yes, you can save 30% today by using my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com. Just click on the radio podcast square and use my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com to get this latest product, My Cross. You can choose from the men's or the women's style. The My Cross for women has a more delicate look and is reversible with mother of pearl styled translucent white enamel on one side and onyx styled black enamel on the other. The My Cross for men has a slightly larger cross with onyx styled black enamel and a slightly longer, thicker chain. Now, this amazing offer won't last long, so on mypillow.com, use my promo code Bruce, mypillow.com, promo code Bruce.
Hey, Carl Jackson here for Dennis Prager.
Oh, the great Carl Jackson. Oh, Carl.
Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a match, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Line.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to Pragertopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, and his famous Torah teachings and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at Pragertopia.com, Pragertopia.com.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunroofs, windows, doors, decks, siding, patios, porches, basements, and bathroom remodels. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 25% off or 60 months, 0 interest. That's right, 60 months, 0 interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling, 614-756-3140. Check us out at ProViewRemodeling.com.
So let's put my recommendation to John Husted that he needs to be more authentic and relatable to people to the test. I'm looking around the studio for my live read on the Dare Dutchman event on April the 25th, Friday night with Larry Elder, and it's gone. Somebody took it. I don't know why, but I don't need it because I cannot wait for April the 25th. I cannot wait to meet Larry Elder. I have had an awesome time with Mike Gallagher at Alien. Love interacting with you guys. I hear the ticket sales are robust. Why wouldn't they be? You get a Dirt Dutchman buffet, roasted chicken, roast beef, green beans, mashed potatoes and gravy, and yes, delicious Dirt Dutchman pies. Just keep your hands off the last piece of coconut cream because, I'd hate for you to be missing a finger when I go for that piece of pie. Jack Windsor will be on stage with me and Larry Elder at 7 o'clock on Friday night, April the 25th. You can sleep in the next day so you can really tie on the feed bag and hear some great conservative talk. Larry Elder, Bruce Hooley, Jack Windsor, Dare Dutchman, April the 25th. Get your tickets at 989theanswer.com. I really do want John Husted to be successful as a senator. And so my advice to him is, it is advice. It is not criticism. Okay. And for instance, the other night, this buffoon, Al Green. Okay. What did we all see the other night at Trump's address to Congress? Did we see authentic people? Oh, I'm holding up my little card that says false. I'm holding up because everybody walks around with one of those little cards in their, in their backpack or in their purse if they're a woman. No, that was performative. It was staged. It was inauthentic, and hence Democrats are unrelatable. Who do we have here in Ohio who is like an everyman that every single time he gets elected, and I know you can say it's his district, but who do we have here in Ohio who is comfortable talking to captains of industry or a farmer out in the field getting off his tractor in the middle of harvesting his corn or his soybeans? How about Jim Jordan? Is Jim Jordan relatable? Is Jim Jordan authentic? Yes. Is Bernie Moreno relatable, authentic? Oh, he's a big car dealer, Mercedes-Benz. He's a millionaire. But he's relatable. Bernie Moreno can talk to anybody, right? Sherrod Brown's a Yale academician buffoon who tries to portray himself as what? A man of the people. Tim Ryan, same thing. Why do you think J.D. Vance rocketed up the political roller coaster to become a senator and then 2 years later, vice president of the United States? Because everybody can identify with this story. I've interviewed senators and I stare into their eyes and it feels like I'm staring into an abyss of inauthenticity. I mean, it's like I sit there and I go, in fact, I don't know if I should mention my friend's name, but somebody you all know, he and I were having this conversation. He's like, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of you met this guy? I'm like, there's no there. He's like, yeah, empty, right? So many of these people, we look at them, they're public servants, they run for office. And you meet them and you're like, how in the world did you get where you are? Okay. Like, but Jim Jordan's got very rarely has a necktie on. If he does, it's loosened around his neck. Jim Jordan's just a guy. Why is Donald Trump popular? He's a New York real estate developer billionaire. But you see Trump at his rallies. You see Trump in the White House with the girls around him signing the ban on transgender girls playing sports. You see him with the little guy, DJ Daniel, getting a hug. Trump's relatable. Trump's authentic. Trump's a people person. If you want to be successful in anything, relational skills. And you can say, oh, well, Bruce, you're a chatty guy and you have that skill, so maybe other people don't have it. Well, then don't get into a profession where you need to have it to be good. Because a lot of these times when I meet politicians, I don't feel like the politician has a single idea in his head at all unless he clears it first with his consultant. And people have asked me, why don't you run for office? Why don't you run for like state rep? Why don't you run for Senate? Why don't you run for Ohio Senate? Not because I don't have ideas, not because I couldn't handle the job, because I don't have the tie to the money, people, because I see how it works. How do you think Joe Biden got elected to the U.S. Senate when he was 29 before he was allowed to even be a U.S. Senator? Because somebody took a fancy to him and decided we'll push this guy. And what comes with that? You're right. Favors for the people who did it for you, okay? How is this buffoon Al Green representing the people of Houston, Texas in Congress? How is AOC? Because people don't demand excellence from Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, or others, and we've got them in the Ohio State House. We've got buffoons in the Ohio State House. Speaking of Al Green, here's how it went down in Congress today. You know, he's getting censured for making a scene in Congress. So what do Democrats do when he's getting censured today? Of course, they're going to make a scene.
The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order.
Shh. Mike Johnson. Shushing him.
Will Representative Green present himself to the well?
The well is the area in front.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
Now, a couple of years ago, they went and freaked out when a guy said, "You lie to Obama." They're going to just sing. They're going to sing a protesting. What a bunch of idiots. Like, it just, okay, so they censured Al Green. And not a moment too soon. But you remember the guy who yelled out when Obama was talking about something and the guy goes, "You lie." Oh, he's breaking the norms. Yeah. Telling the truth and breaking the norms. Al Green, on the other hand, some big crusader shaking his cane at President Trump. The Democrats just don't get it, man. They just don't get it. And we talked yesterday about how crazy it is that they couldn't stand for, literally or figuratively, they could not stand for Donald Trump calling attention to the kind of American stories that everybody ought to embrace, the kind of stories we make movies about. Like movies that don't win Oscars because, you know, you can't make a movie now about little DJ Daniels' courageous fight against brain cancer or Laken Riley's murder. You could never make a story about Laken Riley's family. You'd have to make it about the poor, persecuted, illegal immigrant who came across the border and was like driven to attack, murder, and sexually assault a co-ed because he got denied like his food stamps and wasn't given enough free stuff. Maybe he didn't get the latest iPhone when we gave him a free government issued phone. That's who we would make the movie about. Because if you made a movie about, I don't know, the wife of the slain cop in New York City, there probably wouldn't be enough two-spirit LGBTQI plus people in it, and then the Academy would rule you ineligible for the Oscar like they did the people who made Reagan. So, I'm going to play an interview that I heard yesterday from somebody who's not a Republican, not a Democrat, but is fact-based, talking about the direction the Democratic Party is going. And if I had to preview it for you, I would just say, this is demonstrable of doubling down on stupid.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The Al Green censure resolution has passed the House. The Democrat congressman not only heckled President Trump during this week's speech, he stood up, screamed, and waved a cane in the air. After refusing to sit down, he had to be removed from the chamber by the sergeant at arms. The White House acknowledges that talks between U.S. officials and the hostage-holding Hamas terrorist group are underway. The president warns Hamas it will face destruction if it doesn't release all of the captives, does so immediately. The judicial branch, the Supreme Court, is telling the executive branch, the Trump administration, how to spend foreign aid funds, ordering the release of $2 billion in foreign aid money. Blizzard conditions across parts of Minnesota and Nebraska, generated by the storms that earlier this week left 3 people dead in Mississippi. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 56 points, NASDAQ off 131. More on these stories at townhall.com.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 40, 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. Call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. It'll change your life. It's fast, it's simple. They won't let you fail. Just give them a call at 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. That's 855-696-2020. 855-696-2020. Here's the best part. First 11 callers who mention the keyword healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Call today. 855-696-2020. Mention healthy to get 2 free weeks. Or visit them at myphdweightloss.com. MyPhD.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
From athletes and actors to comedians and politicians, Chris DeGaule's interviews regularly grabs national headlines. And you can hear him weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Discount Shopping Club, 989theanswer.com. Great place for you to go if you're interested in saving money. I mean, I would think you would be. And certainly we have seen over the years costs of education in college skyrocket. Not so at Ohio Christian University, where an education in biblical truth grounded on a solid foundation is not unaffordable. And it's even more affordable when you go to the Discount Shopping Club, because you can get $5,000 off an OCU scholarship for just spending $2,500 and getting the certificate in the Discount Shopping Club. Now, this is a great campus in Circleville. You could live on campus, or if you're in Central Ohio, you could theoretically drive back and forth every day. But I would live there, because that way you would surround yourself with other like-minded people. It's strengthening to know that there are others who have the same worldview as you. They do at Ohio Christian University. Get that discount certificate in the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com. I came across a tweet this morning from a student at the University of Pennsylvania. He's 22 years old. He's not a student. He's a graduate, actually. His name is Eyal Jacoby. He has video of anti-Semites standing outside the Hillel Center on the Ohio State campus last night, chanting for a global intifada. Wow. He says, and he's right, can you imagine the outrage if Jews showed up outside of the Muslim Student Association and harassed them? Guy Benson of Fox News retweeted the tweet and says, oh, here it's the Klan showing up at a black fraternity house to intimidate and harass black people. How would the school respond? Yes, indeed. How will the school respond at Ohio State? So completely unacceptable. And stand by for a statement from OSU, because I doubt anybody would have the courage to come on camera and condemn it. We will delve into in this segment the continued fallout from Democrats acting like morons during Trump's speech to Congress on Tuesday night, where Donald Trump's team just does a phenomenal job of finding embraceable American stories that illustrate Donald Trump's policy positions. Conversely, Democrats continue to stumble over their own shoestrings. Today on Twitter, there was a picture of Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who was testifying yesterday in a 6-hour hearing with Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Denver, and also Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. They were there being called on the carpet by House Oversight over how much money they've spent on illegal migrants. So Michelle Wu, she wants to come off as likable, so she shows up in this picture standing next to Ayanna Pressley, anti-Semite member of the squad. But in the picture, Michelle Wu wants to look, really embraceable. So on Ash Wednesday, she has like the cross in ashes on her forehead while holding her baby. Okay, here's the problem. Boston Children's Hospital is one of the worst offenders of transgender surgeries. She is an advocate for pro-choice positions, which means pro-abortion positions. But she's got the ash on her forehead because she wants you to know that she's a Christ follower. Yeah, sure. just incredible. Now, there's another picture online today of DJ Daniel, the little boy from Trump's speech. In his police uniform, he's adorable. Who is he standing next to? Is there a smart Democrat in Congress who, read the papers or listened to any podcast or watched any news coverage, saw that 76% of Americans in a CBS poll, CBS, not really that supportive of Donald Trump, supported the president's speech? Did they see the CNN poll? 69%. If I'm a Democrat and I didn't stand for DJ Daniel, I'm finding is DJ Daniel in Washington today? I'm telling my team, find DJ Daniel, bring him in here to my office. I'm going to take a picture with DJ Daniel. I'm going to congratulate him. I'm going to tell him what a young, inspirational story he is. No, there's somebody who did that, but it wasn't a Democrat. It was Byron Donalds. So no Democrat will do it even upon further review. They just can't do it. And then finally, we all saw in advance of Trump's speech the cringy video of 22, or was it 23? I lost track. Democratic senators who were all reading from the exact same script about Trump's policies. This isn't true. That isn't true. They were all reading from the exact same script. Because, why? Because, back to our original segment today about these people are not impressive. Republican side of the aisle, Democratic side of the aisle, or equal opportunity stupidity on each side of the aisle, equal opportunity inauthenticity on each side of the aisle. But all these Democrats, if I'm a Democratic senator and they bring me this saying, hey, everybody's going to read this on Trump's speech tonight, and we're going to put them all on social media. I would say, wait a minute, everybody's reading this? So I'm going to be saying the same thing Liz Warren's saying. I'm going to be saying the same thing that Chris Kuhn is saying. I'm going to be saying Chris Murphy's saying. I'm going to be like, no, I have my own original thoughts in my head, but they don't have their own original thoughts in their head. So that was a cringy video, right? Well, wait, there's more. Sorry, I didn't know the sound was up on that. So today we have a video on Twitter just released of female Democratic House members who are shown one after the other, all jumping up. The frame starts with, hold on a second. Let me, I don't know why this thing won't enlarge so I can read the names. Here we go. So it starts with Suthi Jessie Wu. I think she's a congressperson. I don't know. It says mommy of the century sleep deprived. She's jumping up and down, throwing punches at the air outside of the U.S. Capitol. And then it jumps to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, youngest woman and Latina in Congress, doing the same exact thing, jumping up and down, throwing punches. And then it jumps to Lauren Underwood, youngest black woman elected to Congress. Are you sensing a trend here? They all have to have some intersectionality distinction. She co-founded the Black Maternal Office. She's jumping up and down, throwing punches into the air. And then into the frame jumps Representative Catherine Clark, House Minority Whip, Massachusetts 5th Congressional District. Come on there, Catherine. You really didn't do anything for intersectionality. How did you ever get in this video? And then it jumps to Judy Chu, first Chinese American woman elected to Congress. She jumps into the frame, throwing punches in the air. Awkwardly, I might add. And then, of course, it dovetails into the biggest racist in Congress, which is quite a horse race, Jasmine Crockett, Texas 30th Congressional District. What is it with Texas? Al Green and Jasmine Crockett. She's jumping up and down, throwing punches. And then Susie Lee, Nevada 3rd Congressional District. Jumping up, throwing punches. Oh, wow. Ooh, looks like it could really knock Donald Trump over. This, and then words come on the screen that say, choose your fighter. None of these women in this picture look like they could knock out a 2-year-old. Somebody sat down. Wouldn't it be great if we got the wokest, intersectionality-ist members of Congress to like act like they're jumping into the ring and like throwing punches? That'll really show Donald Trump. Oh yeah, it really will show Donald Trump. All this feckless Democratic response is why Mark Halpern, who is not a Democrat, not a Republican, he's a data strategist, and he's the one of 3 guys on the, what's the podcast? It is Morning Meeting is the podcast. Here's Mark Halpern on his 3 takeaways from Donald Trump's speech the other night and the Democratic reaction to it.
First of all, I thought the president's performance, but you love him or hate him, it was just an incredible physical performance, entertaining. He's a great television producer, as you know, and I thought the casting of the folks from all over America representing certain themes were really key. And it's always important to remember the president, contrary to what Politico and others want to say, he's not talking about extreme red meat MAGA issues. He's talking about issues that are broadly popular, including with people who don't like him. And that's something that put the Democrats on their back legs. Finally, I'll say what the Democrats did last night. Even after decades of partisanship, and even after Donald Trump is doing things that are partisan, I thought their behavior last night in not applauding a little boy with cancer, not applauding Laken Riley's family, was disgusting and unhinged. And I think they'll pay a price for it.
Well, they already paid a price for it in November. And I'm fine if we just keep collecting from them. If they just keep saying stupid things, if they just keep denying reality, we'll have more assessments of Democrats, including, hey, you don't want to miss the latest soundbite from The View, do you? Where Stephen A. Smith scolds Joy Behar about holding out on admitting that Donald Trump won a mandate in the election in November. All that and more ahead on the Bruce Hooley Show.
Clouds will give way to some sun this afternoon. Windy and cold. High today 39. Cloudy skies tonight with a low at 29. Mostly cloudy. Could bump into a shower for the afternoon and evening tomorrow. The high 42. The low tomorrow night at 27. Partly sunny on Saturday. The high Saturday at 44. Sunshine a little bit milder on Sunday. The high at 50. And then sunny skies. Not as cool on Monday. The high Monday at 59. I'm Steve Williams.
Donald Trump consistently promised that grocery prices were going to be lowered on day one. But costs aren't going down, they're going up.
I want to just bring you to the scene on Capitol Hill right now where Leader Jeffries has been taking questions, some of which are focused on his own party and the antics that we saw on full display on Tuesday night. He was asked how he plans to control his conference, and now he's taking another question. Here's his answer.
What a buffoon.
He's a roof. A swim teacher who also does roofing. No,
What a buffoon.
It's ruining the furniture. Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive.
Hakeem Jeffries. He's perfectly indicative of the kind of empty-headed morons who get elected to positions of high influence. They don't have a single idea in their head.
Here. If you're looking to grow your business, you need a lending partner who truly understands success. That's where our friends at the Frost family at First Liberty Building and Loan come in. For over 30 years, they have been helping small businesses secure real estate, expand operations, and thrive. If your bank is making things difficult, time to explore a better option. First Liberty specializes in creative financing solutions designed to fit your needs. Whether you're buying a building, expanding a franchise, or looking for a trusted lending partner who knows how to get deals done. The Frost family understands the challenges business owners face, and they work to structure financing that helps you achieve long-term success. They take the time to listen, strategize, and craft solutions that work for you. A quick conversation with their team would open new doors and could fuel your next stage of growth. Visit FirstLibertyGA.com today to get started. That's FirstLibertyGA.com, where your business's success is their top priority.
We all know how challenging it can be to get the quality sleep we need, whether it's falling asleep or staying asleep. So many people are not getting the Z's they need. Well, Z Factor from Relief Factor has the formula to change that. Z Factor goes beyond melatonin and uses a combination of 4 natural ingredients. Helps relax your mind so you can fall asleep quicker and then helps you sleep soundly throughout the night. Z Factor is 100% drug-free, so it's safe to take regularly. There's no groggy feeling when you wake up. If you're looking for the right formula for better Z's, give Z Factor a try. I have, and I love it. Right now, you'll save 46% on your first order. That's only $19.95 for a 30-day supply of Z Factor. Call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF, or visit ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Better sleep without drugs. See how Z Factor can help you get the Z's you want. 800-4RELIEF or ReliefFactor.com.
Maybe like me, you're a union guy who's watched your union promote issues that violate your faith. I couldn't live with myself when I knew that my dues were being used to advocate abortion. I contacted the National Right to Work Foundation. They told me the union can't force me to support its agenda. I pray for them, but I no longer compromise my beliefs. I give my union money to an agreed-upon charity instead. If you want to learn more about your rights, contact the National Right to Work Foundation at 1-800-336-3600 or access their website at nrtw.org.
If you are looking to remodel your flooring in your home, I'd love to help you with it. I helped a new customer yesterday down around Canal Winchester. And yes, I can get you new flooring, whether it's carpet or whether it is luxury vinyl plank flooring that is taking the industry by storm. Almost no one does hardwood anymore. Why would you when it scratches and when it's not waterproof? When luxury vinyl plank flooring is both. It doesn't scratch and it is waterproof. So if you would like to explore the possibility of paying less, getting your products installed faster, I know the downside is, of course, you'd have to meet me because I'd come to your house and measure your space and we'd have to have a conversation. If you can get past that, then go to BruceHooley.com and click flooring. BruceHooley.com and click flooring. All the major brands. You won't compromise at all. Trust me on that. BruceHooley.com, click flooring. Oh, look, the old air traffic controller is standing in front of a microphone on Capitol Hill. Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, the man who cannot talk without pausing ponderously and moving his arms as if he has a orange cone in his hands, bringing in a 747 from the runway so that it can hook up with the jetway and allow the passengers to deplane Hakeem Jeffries on Capitol Hill, no doubt bemoaning the censure given to Texas Democrat Al Green for standing up and hectoring President Trump on Tuesday night. Hakeem, direct that plane in, please.
Donald Trump consistently promised that grocery prices were going to be lowered on day one.
Moving his finger, moving around, moving his arm.
Costs aren't going down, they're going up. The stock market isn't going up, it's going down.
More gyrations.
Inflation is up. And Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the American economy in real time.
Oh, wow. Powerful.
So on the run with respect to the economy, not a single bill, not a single executive order, and not a single administrative action has been put forth by Donald Trump or House Republicans to improve the economic circumstances of the American people.
Well, it's so nice they're concerned about that. Finally, after Joe Biden ran up inflation to 40-year highs. Now, Jeffries is indicative of the fact that Democrats just don't have any new ideas, and nor do they have any new understanding of the political force field that Donald Trump is. Now, that's a common theme. It's one of the it's one of the symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome. And nowhere do they suffer Trump derangement syndrome more than on the set of The View, where Joy Behar the other day was doing what Democrats do, denying the reality that Donald Trump swept back into the White House with a mandate to do exactly what he is doing. Now, speaking for the truth side of the equation here is Democrat and non-Trump fan Stephen A. Smith.
The popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the county shifted to the right. That's a mandate. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate.
Well, Stephen A. Smith's first mistake was, he says, I'm a fan of truth and the facts. Well, then you're going to be an awfully lonely person on the set of The View. Awful lonely. Now back to Mark Halpern, the host of the Two-Way podcast. He has sources in the government, and a lot of people wanted to know, like, what is wrong with the Democrats? They can't stand for embraceable human stories. They can't clap for the widow of a slain police officer, a little boy with brain cancer, a girl who suffered traumatic brain injuries from a dude spiking a volleyball into her face. Like, what is wrong with these people? Or did they just get caught up in a moment of stupidity and intractability on the fact that they hate Trump so much they couldn't bring themselves to applaud any of the people that he brought in? Because, I mean, obviously, if Donald Trump brought him in, then they got to be horrible, evil, terrible, awful people, right? They might not be orange and mean and bad like Donald Trump is, but if Trump likes them, they have to hate them. Mark Halpern, where did that opposition come from? Was it organic or was it pre-planned?
Some of my sources say it kind of just happened spontaneously, that once they sort of got into the pattern of not clapping. Remember, the tradition is members of both parties escort the president out to the floor. And so they started the evening declining to participate in escorting him out to the floor. Their view, and it's the view of tens of millions of people, he's illegitimate. He won the popular vote. He won the election. Even after January 6th, they still think he's illegitimate. And so that is manifested in that room by the party, by the members of Congress. And they simply, I think it's just in the moment, they sabotage their efforts to make this about policy and Donald Trump's policy, the implications of his policies on real people. And they turned it into an MRI of their soul. I can't tell you, I just can't see how a human being could sit there and not stand up for that little boy. I just don't know. I just there's so much in politics that you can understand because you understand the motives of politicians, right? If you've covered them for a while. I can't understand not standing up for that little boy. I can't understand it. And I think it was reflective of how much they're still on their back feet. They still don't understand the country and Donald Trump's appeal to enough people to get him elected and to put him in a very powerful position. Because as I said, he's talking about popular issues. They want to say he's talking about MAGA issues. He is some, but mostly he's talking about popular issues on which many of the members of Congress of the Democratic Party are on the wrong side.
An MRI of their soul. Well, it's going to come up clean, totally empty. There'll be nothing there if you're looking for the soul of Democrats. Now, Mark Halpern, not a Republican. This woman has 100,000 followers on social media. I don't know her name, but she says she's a former Democrat, completely and utterly turned off by what she witnessed on Tuesday night.
I cannot tell you how refreshing it was to wake up this morning and hear from other Democrats and see on my post other Democrats who are just as furious and ready to jump ship as I am. I'm not buying into what they're selling, because after what we saw yesterday, I'm actually glad that they pulled that yesterday, because people like me who have been disillusioned by the Democratic Party for a long time got to see an evilness there, got to see a diabolical side of the Democratic Party who's basically saying, we want you to fail. We don't care if you fail. It's like the scene in The Wizard of Oz when they finally go back to see the great Oz and they pull the curtain back and it's just a little old man just standing there. I'm not going to be afraid to voice my opinion anymore. I'm done. I am done. And you're not going to bully me off my own page.
Good for her. Wow, that's an apt description, isn't it? The Wizard of Oz? Joe Biden as the wizard. The guy who we were told he was cogent and he was sharp as a tack and he got more done in an hour than the rest of us got done all day. At least in the Wizard of Oz, the wizard was operating the machine. Who was operating Joe Biden? Who was pulling the levers and pumping him full of whatever it was when his eyes were wide open and he couldn't blink? I think that maybe people can't articulate exactly why. Say, do you trust the Democratic Party? No. Why? Why not? They probably wouldn't give you a list. I saw the Easter Bunny leading Biden around the South Lawn. I don't think he had a clue what was going on. And we had a shadow government. I'm not sure they could articulate it, but it's a compilation of all the dysfunction that I think made an impression on the American people. We'll check in with Matt Mayer, our friend, next to find out what he thought of the reaction to Trump's speech.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's an hour, and a quick hour it was, and I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll tell you what, I had an awesome Bible study this morning, just myself, nobody else, reading through Psalm 31, 32, 33, 34. I'm trying to read through the Psalms this month, in addition to reading through the book of Proverbs, which I do every month. But if you read 5 Psalms a day, you read through the book of Psalms. If I had to summarize the book of Psalms, I would say, number 1, God is in control. And number 2, God really, really, really hates sin. So those Psalms today, I'm ahead of schedule in Psalms, reading 5 a day because it's the 6th of the month. So I got past Psalm 30. But I'll tell you what, it's a great way to center yourself and align yourself with the mind of God. So if you're interested, join me in doing that. And I'd love to hear about it. Take care. Have a great day. Oh, one last thing. Can't end without wishing my guys, Jonathan Alder Pioneers, playing tonight, regional tournament on the campus of Bowling Green State University. our coach does a great job. Our staff does a great job. Noah Hess, Danny Bentley, Ryan Mark, all you guys, good luck tonight. Good luck. I'll be watching.
Also at townhall.com, President Trump has issued what he said was